What's up, family? It's Coach Dab. Y'all know when y'all see this face is about getting some money. Look, today we're going to talk about credit score versus credit profile. So look, real quick, a lot of people think that once they have a 700 credit score that, that all their problems are solved, they're eligible for loans and things like that. The truth is, it has nothing to do with your credit score and everything to do with your credit profile. So, meaning, you can have a 700 credit score and have your entire credit profile loaded up with just a bunch of credit builder accounts like Kickoffs and, Rental Boom and Credit Karma and things like that. The thing is, banks are going to see that and realize that at the end of the day, you have a very weak profile. So even though you may have the 700 credit score, your profile was weak. Someone like with the 680 credit score that may have 2-3 primary accounts with credit cards over a $3,000 limit on it would definitely be more eligible for that loan than you would. Even though that you have the higher score, they have the better profile. So today I just want to get into the data points of what banks are looking for when you guys are applying for these loans to stop getting denied. So let's get into it. Like I said, data points are going to have a lot to do with you being approved and denied. So first and foremost, right, there's certain things, like I said, someone can have a 700 credit score and you have a 680, but they may have derogatories or certain things on their credit profile that are going to eliminate them from loan eligibility, essentially, right? They're going to get denied. So to make sure that you're not denied, right, there's only 3 reasons why a bank would ever deny you. And those 3 reasons are, 1, you have high utilization, right? You always want to keep your utilization, especially if you're going into the bank for approvals, right? You want to keep your utilization under 20% is what they say. But I personally feel like you'll have the most success under 10%, right? So keep your debt utilization anywhere, let's just say 10%, right? Just to stay on the safe side. We don't want any denials. Keep it under 10%, right? So that's the number one thing. The other 2 reasons of why they would deny you is late payments. Listen, your late payments, there's no way to get around it. Like, credit is credit at the end of the day, and payments accounts for 35% of your credit score. So you definitely don't want to be missing late payments. Like, there's no way around it. You have to pay your stuff on time, guys. So one of the best things to do to make sure that you're always paying your bills and stuff like that on time is just to go ahead and set up automatic payments, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, 1 missed payment can drop your score down to 98 points. 98 points, y'all. And I've done it. I've been there and I've done it, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you're paying everything on time. And if you have a bad memory like I have, just set the stuff up on automatic payments so that you don't have to deal with it, because nothing is worse than putting in all of this hard work and trying to build your credit score, and then you accidentally forget, and then you lose 98 points to 100 points just by 1 late payment. So that's number 2. The third thing, like I said, is you got debt utilization, you got late payments, and your credit score, right, is the third thing. So if your credit score is just too low, guys, then you're going to be denied as well. So you want to be making sure that, like I said, your debt utilization is under 10%, for 1, that you're making sure that you have 100% payment history, you're making all your payments on time, and 3, making sure that you actually have the credit score. So look, typically the data points, people want to see your credit score over a 660, anywhere between a 660, 680. Guys, to be completely honest with you, let's shoot for the 680s and 700s, right? Because even though I can take you to different places like Upstart and things like that so far to go out and get you personal loans, it's not going to be maximum funding, right? Which means it's not going to be 50K, 100K, all of these hundreds of thousands of dollars that you guys are hearing about online, 1. And 2, it's not going to be 0% interest for that first 12 to 18 months. So you don't have to hit all the data points to be eligible for funding per se. But when you're hearing about like the 0% interest things that we're always talking about online, you have to hit all of those data points, like I said. So just a brief rundown, of review of what those data points are. Again, like I said, your utilization under 10%, credit score 680 or better, and making sure that you have 100% payment history and your debt utilization under 20%. Now, once we have all of those and we meet in that criteria, the next thing that we want is to have 2 revolving accounts. 2 primary accounts. Those are 2 accounts that's in your name. That can be a secured card, that can be an unsecured card, that can be a loan, right? Or a car loan, right? So once you have those 2 or 3 primary accounts, you also want to go and add 2 credit cards with limits of at least $3,500 on them, right? The reason why you want those limits of at least $3,500, family, is because when we go to take you for loans, banks will approve you on 2 times the limit of whatever your highest credit card is, right? So we want you to shoot for the $25,000 cards and stuff like that, the $10,000 cards, $7,000 cards, because like I said, banks will give you 2 times your highest limit, right? So the higher your personal limits are, the easier it is for us to go into the bank and go get you those higher limits. So these are the things that you guys definitely want to be thinking about. And I'm going to put the data points right here for you guys so that you can see exactly what they are. And when you have these data points, you want to make sure that you're hitting all of them 100%. In the case that you aren't, then you need to come to someone like myself, Coach Dev, to help you strengthen your credit profile, right? And help you structure things properly. Because if it's not structured properly, from your credit profile to your LLC, which we'll get into that too very shortly, then you're just going to be denied. So now that we got the credit data points, let's get into the LLC stuff. At the end of the day, like I said, these are the data points that the banks are requiring, which will allow you up to $100,000 with 0% interest for that first 12 to 18 months. It's just that simple. Now let's get into it. I told you guys what you need as far as your credit profile. Now let's get into what you need as far as your LLC and the structuring. First and foremost, you want to enlist with your Secretary of State, right? And you want to make sure that your domain name is actually available, right? So to get your domain name, you might want to use something like a GoDaddy.com to make sure that your domain name is available, right? So once your domain name is available, the next thing that you want to do is you want to create a virtual address, you want to create a 1-800 number, you want to create a business email address, right? You want to get your EIN, you want to get your DUNS, and you want to get your website. So look, the reason why you want all of these things is because we're going to the banks and we're asking the banks for money, right? We're asking them for $50,000 to $100,000. So we have to make sure that once again, we hit all of the data points and meet all the requirements. The banks just want to make sure that we're running our business like a big business. If you're going asking for big money, then you need big business. You need your business and everything structured, which means you can't be running around here with your own personal address. You need a corporate address or a virtual address. And honestly, we're kind of getting away from the virtual address thing as well, because banks kind of want to be able to find you for their money, and they know that with these virtual addresses they can't. So now we're moving to more of the corporate addresses, but virtual addresses will still work. It's better than having your own personal address on file. One, because your LLC is public information, which means if you have all of this, your personal information like your phone number and your address and all of that on file, anyone can find you. It's going to be public, right? So you don't want grandma's name or address on your LLC or on your business, right? So once you have these things aligned, like I said, your 1-800 number, once you have your corporate address and your email business address, your 1-800 number, and you have these things structured properly, right? Next thing you want to do is make sure that you have a website, because these companies are actually going to go and try to verify you. So to verify you, they're going to pull up your social media, they're going to pull up your Facebook, they're going to pull up your Instagram and all of that stuff. Showing up. So you better be having whatever it is that you do on your page. If not, making sure that you go into like a Wix.com to be able to establish a website, you know, for little to no cost, right? So once you have all of these things structured and all of that properly, right? Your 680 credit score, low utilization, couple primary accounts, revolving accounts, 2 credit cards over $3,500 limit, no late payments, no repos, your LLC is structured properly, you got your EIN, you got your DUNS, you got your virtual address, you got your 1-800 number, you got your business email, you got all of these things structured. Then at this point in time, we can go into the bank and go get access to capital for you, startup capital for you, up to $100,000. Even more for some credit profiles, right? But anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 with 0% interest. This is just all that it takes, family. And it sounds like a lot more than what it really is. Your LLC, I've set up for people in less than an hour, honestly, fully structured, right? As far as your profile, that's going to be something that's going to take a little more time depending on where you are, if you have late payments and stuff like that. But the good thing about credit, y'all, is I'll leave y'all with this. The good thing about credit is it's never too late to fix it. You can always fix it. You can always fix it. At the end of the day, when you decide that, look, this is the life that I'm ready to start living, my credit has been messed up for the last 20, 30 years, you don't have to settle for that. You don't have to go for that. It's always everything that's on your credit profile is always disputable, which means at any point in time, you can always make that decision in life to change it, better yourself, better your credit score, get your LLC and all of that structured, come to someone like myself to help mentor you so that you're putting the money in the right direction, and then be off to the races. Because at the end of the day, that's how simple this is. We're on this rat race, y'all, of just keep making life harder and harder and harder and harder for ourselves for absolutely nothing. Why are we still going to work trying to save up $50,000 when you can just go ahead and take 30 to 60 days and building up your credit profile and then going into the bank and getting access to this capital? This is the way that we have to start thinking, family, because if not, we're just going to continue to go on this hamster wheel over and over and over and over, looking for all of these new answers or these new quick fix schemes and all of that, when the answer is right here. The answer is in your credit score. The answer is in you structuring your LLC. The answer is in you getting up under a mentor that can help change your mindset, help change your pockets, and help change your life at the end of the day by just educating you on the things that you are unaware of. So look, it starts with you. I love you. It's Coach Dev. I'll see y'all on the next one. Let's get it.